Welcome back, boys and girls. You are getting really great at doing your multiplication problems. And today we're going to take a look at Chapter 3, Lesson 3.6, Choose a Multiplication Method. And you are getting really sassy in your multiplication methods. So we're going to get right into it. The essential question that we're going to answer today is, how can you find and record products of two-digit numbers, which we've been working with all along, so you're going to be great at this lesson. Let's get started. We're going to get right into a word problem. And this one I think is kind of interesting because the question is, did you know using math can help you prevent and can help prevent you from getting a sunburn? Well, let's find out. It says, the time it takes to burn without sunscreen multiplied by the SPF, or sun protection factor, is the time you can stay in the sun safely with sunscreen. And I hope you're all using it. Okay, here's our question. If today's UV index is 8, Aaron will burn in 15 minutes without sunscreen. If Aaron puts on sun lotion with an SPF of 25, how long will she be protected? All right, let's go back in and take a look. I want you to underline the sentence that tells you how to find the answer. All right, so if we did this, you are right on. The time it takes to burn without sunscreen multiplied by the SPF is the time that you can stay in the sun safely with sunscreen. Now I want you to think about, what are the numbers that you need to use and what operation will you use? Okay, let's take a look again. Let's reread. All right, so if you went ahead and thought that I can use 15 and SPF of 25, you're right. How many of you decided that we could use multiplication? Great job. So we're going to use multiplication. So let's get started. Whoops, that's kind of crazy. Let's get started. All right, so let's use a piece of grid paper or a piece of loose leaf on its side, whichever, to keep your column straight. And we're going to use partial products to find 15 times 25. So the first thing I'm going to think of is I'm going to look in my highest place value, which is the tens column. I have 2 tens or 20 in my multiplicand. I have 1 10 or 10 in my multiplier. So I'm going to think 10 times 2 tens is 20 tens or 200. Good job. Then I'm going to think of 1 5 in my multiplicand times 1 10 in my multiplier, which is my bottom number. So 10 times 5, 10 times this 5 is 50. Then I'm going to continue. Now I'm in the ones column. I've got 1 5 in my multiplier times 20 in my multiplicand. I know that 5 times 2 tens, or 5 times 20, is 100. Stay with me. Now I am in my ones column. I have 5 in my multiplicand on top, 5 in my multiplier on the bottom. I know that 5 times 5 equals 25. So I have gone ahead and I've used each place value starting with my greatest place value, starting in the tens column, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and add these up. Let's go ahead. 00005, 05027, 2 plus 1 is 3, 375. Wow. Could you draw an area model can you draw an area model to show what this would look like? Well, let's see what we can come up with. Go ahead. Let's try it. All right, I'm going to think of 15 as 10 plus 5. That's my multiplier. I'm going to think of 25 as 20 plus 5. That's my multiplicand. You can see I put my multiplier on the left and my multiplicand on the top, and I know if I add these two, I come up with 25 and 15. So let's go see if we can draw this out. So if we're going to draw this out, 10 times 20 would equal what, boys and girls? You're right. 10 times 20 would be 200. Now, what would 10 times 5 be? You're right, 50. So I'll place 50 right here in this small box. What would be 5 times 20? 5 times 20 would be 100. So I'll place 100 right here in this box. 5 times 20 is 100, so I place 100 in the lower left-hand area of my area model, and then 5 times 5 is 25. When I add these up, I have 300. Whoops. Sorry. I have 300 plus 75. So 300 plus 75 equals 375. Oh, look, my bar model and my answer for partial products, my subtotal, or my sum total are the same. Great. So that's one way I can do it. Using partial products, starting with the highest place value and placing my partial products in order, highest place value to lowest place value, then adding. Let's try another way. All right, another way is that we can use regrouping to find 15 times 25. Now remember, with regrouping, we're going to reverse the order. We're going to look at the least place value or the smallest place value, and we're going to think about multiplying and regrouping and as we move along. So the smallest place value is our 1. So we're going to look at what's in our 1s. We have in our multiplier on the bottom 5. In our multiplicand, we have 25. So we're going to multiply 5 times 25. So we're thinking 5 times 25. 5 times 5 is 25. I'm going to put down the 5, and I'm going to carry the 2 over to the tens column. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 2 is 12. So I'll put the 2 down in the tens column and the 1 down in the hundreds column. I'm done with that. Now I'm going to take a look at my step 2. I'm going to look at my multiplier 1, which is 110 times 25. So 110 times 25, well, since I know that 10 ends in a 0, I'm just going to place my 0 right here. I'm going to say 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 2 is 2. 250 is the same as 10 times 25. Now I'm going to go ahead and add those two together. Let's take a quick look and add them. 5 plus 0 is 5. 2 plus 5 is 7. 1 plus 2 is 3. 375. Wow, that's the same thing that I got when I used the partial products to find 15 times 25. Good job. Now, once again, I want to stress that you need to keep your columns really, really, really straight. Here's what I'd like to do. I'd like to give you some problems. I'd like to give you some questions, and let's think about this. We're going to do the same problem, but before we do that, let's get started with our estimate. So I'm going to ask you to multiply 57 times 43. Well, okay, 57 times 43, I'm going to estimate as 60 times $40 equals 2,400, okay? Let's see how close we get to this. All right, in the first one, we're going to use partial products. All right, so I have $43 times 57. I put $43 on top because of the dollar sign. So let's take a look. So if I'm going to start in the greatest place value, I've got 50 times 40. I know that that's 2,000. I know that 50 times 3 is 150. I know that 7 times 40 is 280. And I know that, whoa, hang on. It's going to make it nice and neat, Mrs. Kennedy. 280. And I know that 7 times 3 is 21. Oh, sorry about that. So I'm going to go ahead and just add. 0.00001. 5 plus 8 plus 2 equals 15. I'm going to put down the 5 and carry the 1. 1 plus 1 plus 2 equals 4, and I'll bring that 2 because there's nothing else to add to it all the way down. Now 1, 2, 3, comma, but take a look at this. This is also money, so I have to have that money sign. All right, let's take a look. In my second method, I'm going to use regrouping. Remember, with regrouping, I'm starting with the lowest place value. So I'm going to multiply 7 times 43 and regroup. 7 times 3 is 21. I'll place down the 1. I'll carry the 2. Well, maybe I won't carry the 2. I'm trying to carry the 2. Got it. 7 times 4 is 28 plus 2 is 30. Now I'm going to multiply 50 times 43. Because it's 50, I know there's a 0 in the ones place. I'm just going to put that right there. So I'm going to multiply 5 times 43. 5 times 3 is 15. I'm going to put down the 1, and I'm going to put down the 5 and carry that 1. Please notice where I'm carrying over. 5 times 4 is 20 plus 1 is 21. Let's go ahead and add those two partial products. 1 plus 0 is 1. 0 plus 5 is 5. 3 plus 1 is 4. 2 plus nothing is 2. And once again, 1, 2, 3, comma. Put the comma between the periods. I want to make sure that you understand that what I'm going to ask you to do is put down that dollar sign. Let's take a look. 2,451. Oh, look. 2,451. I have the same answer. Now, let me ask you, is my answer reasonable? Look at this. My answer is reasonable because my estimate is 2,400. Once again, using my grid paper or my columns on my on my loose leaf or my journal, I'm going to make sure I keep my columns really nice and clean so I can see my addition. Now let me ask you just a couple of questions. Let's see if we can't make some connections here. So here are the questions I want you to think about as you look back at what we just did. How do you know your answer is reasonable? Oops, I think I let the cat out of the bag on that one. Number 2, looking back at these two methods, how are the partial products 2,150 related to 2,150? You have to look back at partial products and regrouping. Now, here's my next question. How are the partial products 280 and 51 related to 301 under regrouping? If you can answer these questions, you are truly a mathematician. Let's move on. All right, boys and girls, these are your practice problems tonight. The first thing I'm going to ask you to do, once again, is to start with your estimation and then choose your method. Be a mathematician, enjoy. By the way, leave a little more room on your page than I've left here. Obviously, I only have so much space, so you need to spread them out. You need to make them clean. They need to be neat. We need to see columns. Get your estimations. Enjoy. Have fun. See you tomorrow.